No, no, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna run it for like an hour,
Yeah.
just so the camera doesn't, because the camera can go for like an hour and a half on a full battery.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a battery thing. It's not like a space thing
Gotcha.
usually. So actually, I didn't check the SDs, but I think they should all be cleared.
You don't want to real quick?
No, I know they're clear.
Okay.
I remember because I have 256 in there. Usually the podcast is only like 70.
Okay. I'm gonna get really mad if it's any other way. So.
No, it wouldn't let me record
Yeah. Okay.
if they weren't.
Gotcha.
No, I have enough room.
Okay, then I won't have to get angry. Then we're good. Welcome to Joe Rogan. Today we're going to be guest starring David Goggins. So tell me, David, what do you do?
So I say that if you aren't if you don't never sleep every day, are you even alive? Right? I don't know.
David, I was just thinking that same thing. So David, I hear you get your plate on the bench and you bench until failure about 300 reps. David, why do you do this, David? Some would call you borderline insane.
Yeah, well, they just aren't hard enough. You don't get it. If you aren't hard, then are you even alive?
That's a great point, David. I think a lot of the audience members tuning in will take away something from that statement.
You got to pull the, so...
So, David.
That's my favorite Roganism.
David, how many miles do you run a day?
More than you. And then, you get the Sigma. Right after that.
I mean, I started taking, cold plunges every day for about an hour. I wake up at 4, I do that, and then I go to my business meetings, and then I play 18 holes of golf right after my business meeting. And then I go work out for 3 hours. And then I go home and spend an hour with my family. And then I go back to the gym for another hour to finish up. And then I go home and I have to go on a Zoom call for another business meeting. And then I have to do my second cold plunge because my energy is dropping, and I refuse to take any sort of caffeine because caffeine is bad. But cold plunge gives me the energy I need.
Keep going.
So that's what I do to get my day started. And then I go to bed at 7 a.m. and then I wake up at I go to bed at 7 p.m. and then I wake up at 1 a.m. because sleep is honestly, you only need like 3 hours of sleep every night. Whatever the scientists say. It's not true.
Whatever Andrew Huberman says.
Yeah, because it's all about what you do, Like, do you want to be the average person that scientists are studying, or do you want to be the one that stands out and does the reckless thing and doesn't follow the system? You might die at the age of 60, but at least you were a badass.
And on that note, we have Mac here today.
Yeah, right. Every little bit of sound.
Yeah, everything gets picked up.
What about the fan? Does the fan get picked up?
Surprisingly not.
Okay.
No, not really.
Huh. Because I can even hear it through the headphones. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's yeah, I tried doing it without the fan a couple times, just me.
Okay.
And I was sweating by the end of it, and I was like, this is not good.
Arizona, dude, that's criminal. During the summer, the middle of June right now.
Dude, the fan goes. The only time I've ever turned the fan off is when I leave for long periods of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got into this house, I turned the fan on. It just hasn't been turned off since.
No need to, dude.
Dude, that's like a, there's the weird class, signifiers that people don't think about. For me, if you live in Arizona and your fan isn't on, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Because your AC is cranking at 68 degrees or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you save a little bit of money with the fan off, so save a little bit of electricity in there.
The AC is just, or they have a bigger house. Also how people aren't doing well. If they have a big house, but it's hot.
Yeah.
Because it costs so much to air condition it, and they're house broke or whatever.
What I do, my family's doing for the summer is they keep the curtains closed so the sun doesn't shine in and affect the temperature of the house. and make it so we don't have to use as much AC, so it doesn't get as hot inside of the house. The sun's shining through.
Hence.
Yeah, exactly. See, you're onto it yourself. So
Yeah.
picked up live on camera.
So, tell me about. I guess I didn't introduce Katie, and there were a couple of you like, who is she?
Yeah.
So I should probably introduce you.
Yeah.
So this is Mac.
Hey guys,
We love Mac. Mac's the OG. Literally, the first guy I met at SCC. So that's pretty hype.
Yeah, Bill True's class, August 2022.
That's so long ago, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I was looking through my camera roll, just at like the meltdown era.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is this is so long ago.
Yeah, and honestly, for a good reason. Like honestly, everything's just gotten better since.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
School, just people, everything's just better. So it's like it was like an interesting time to look back on, but it's like I wouldn't go back to it at all.
No. No, it just I don't know. I felt like I was in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I wasn't working on the big projects and I wasn't learning because we were new.
Yeah.
It was just kind of that middle area.
Yeah, dude, it took a while for me to like really get into the film program. That first semester was kind of rough, but then when we got into semester 2, once we got into like the hard nitty and gritty with the cameras and everything,
Like the 16?
yeah, 16 millimeter, then I was like, okay, I see what the actual work is going to be like for this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's where I honestly learned the most was in 16 millimeter, just kind of like being a little reckless with like an old film camera.
With the room to screw up and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That was honestly the most beneficial class of the whole program so far.
So looking back on it, I used to, what's the word? I used to like rag on him for doing it on film because
Yeah.
it was like, oh, like it's so cool you're doing it on film. I'm gonna be like Tarantino or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But looking at it now, it kind of makes sense because if they let them use digital, I mean, you'd have like a 4-hour film,
Yeah.
you know? And it's shocking to me that so many people go through the 16 millimeter where really you have 6 minutes of reel. I think it's around 6 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And they're still cranking out these like 14-minute cuts. It's like, what is going on?
Dude, yeah. I know one of my professors said that she had a student that made a 17-minute biker movie. And they like everybody said how boring it was. It was just like people just riding around on bikes and like no story or anything. Hers just loved. They used like I don't know how many reels it was, but they used like I think like double the amount, maybe even more than that.
They did this on. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like I remember like, yeah, Anna was like, don't make the movie like more than 4 minutes unless like
Don't be that guy.
unless you really have a story to tell. So, but I have like friends in computer science, and they said like with the coding and everything, it's obviously a lot easier to get your hands on doing compared to like 50 years ago. But those early classes where you start in coding, you have to do it like the old-fashioned way. It's kind of just a way with like a lot of majors. The old-fashioned way of doing things within that profession, they make you do in college, so you can kind of like learn your way up to like the modern times of doing things. So you can like understand every like basic part of it.
What does old-fashioned coding look like?
It's like on paper, like writing it codes down on paper and everything, like calculating
Analog.
them instead
geez.
instead of just having everything processed through your computer. I'm like, man, that sounds way harder than shooting on film.
Yeah, that sounds terrible,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, my friends said it was a nightmare to do, but that's the same way with like shooting on film. It's like you kind of have to know like how film works and everything, how it's processed and how the cameras run it to kind of understand like how far we came with digital technology. So, and see the benefits of both worlds too.
Yeah, I was talking to Katie about that
Yeah.
after the podcast about how there's so much that you have to learn at the same exact time.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, like you can't be a good DP if you don't know how to edit. Well, it's like, well, you don't know how to do either of those.
Yeah, you have to know both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to suck at one so you can be good at the other so you can then go back and not suck at the other. It's just...
I'm thankful that I took like a lot of editing classes in high school to get more familiar with it, so that by the time I was in film school, I kind of understood like the basics and the importance of like good shots, because I didn't know like too well about like shooting shots and how to like kind of map that out and actually like execute it, but I knew how to like throw things on a timeline and put it together.
Mm.
So it's like I know how to like balance those.
When you say like a good shot, what does that mean?
Like medium shot, like, oh, this is going to be a close up of his face doing an expression. Like actually map it out, like on paper before you do it, like plan it out instead of just like, I think we should do like a close up, like for this next, like, and then, you know what I mean? You kind of just like go along with it. It's like actually having like a map, like with like drawn pictures or computer generated
like a storyboard.
pictures. Yeah. That was actually like a huge beneficial thing. So I could know that way when I got there and we started shooting, I could be like, okay, I have this one visioned. It honestly doesn't need to be in the movie. We don't need to shoot it. You can just have like an idea basis. So it just makes things come more like fluently when it comes to the final product.
Yeah, like making a rough cut in your head, but also kind of on paper of the final edit before you even shoot.
And you need to be able to communicate it to your crew and make sure they understand your vision.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, because you can't just be like, oh, it's gonna.
It's in my brain. Why can't you see it? Yeah. Oh.
Exactly. So, like
Lawrence Sher, he's the DP for Joker.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Is it him or is it Greg Fraser? I think it's Lawrence Sher. They don't have storyboards. He doesn't like doing. They have shot lists, and they like, it's a medium shot of I don't know, like Joker on the street or something, and that's all they have. Right? It's mapped out more detail wise, but they don't have like pictures to go off of. Because their whole thing was like, oh, we don't know exactly what it's gonna look like, so we're not gonna waste time figuring that out. We'll just know what we want in the shot, and then we'll like do it on the day.
I mean, it obviously worked. So
clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing 5 to 10 shots a day, though.
Oh wow. Is that normally a lot for like a big Hollywood film?
No.
Okay.
That's around normal, 5 to 10.
Okay.
They said some days they did 2.
Wow.
10 hours, right? Or like a 14-hour day and you get 2 shots.
I mean, some of the shots where he's running around the streets, I mean, they do look like pretty technically hard to pull off. So
yeah, I mean, it's funny, the one where is it right? It's right before the bathroom scene.
Yeah.
And he's running down the tunnel.
Just running.
That was do we have time for this shot?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even, it was planned out, but it was like, I think we can get this. I think we have time for this. And it makes me think about doing, like, what did we do for Murphy's? Like 40 shots that night?
Yeah. Did we
in 5 hours?
Powered through those.
Yeah. It's like, man, like the luxury of having an entire day to do 5 shots. Are you kidding me? Like, that sounds great.
I know. I mean, yeah, that's how, kind of nice how you can just like with a studio film, like when you have the money and the resources, you can kind of like, especially when you're like at a level like the director Todd Phillips, you can kind of just do your own creative thing with it and take your time. Because obviously that movie, you can tell it's not like studio heavy, like a little bit, but not like, it doesn't feel like
honestly, it felt like the Bourne movie, like the first one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Explain.
Like the first Bourne movie feels like surprisingly homemade for what it is.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember like the shots were like, it felt gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think Bourne Ultimatum is better.
I've only seen The Bourne Identity, so.
Supremacy I thought was good, but like never stood out to me. But I liked Ultimatum.
That's number 2, right?
Supremacy? Yes.
Okay.
And then Ultimatum was the third one. I think that one is the best one. But the shots feel way more clean than the first one.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good, like, I mean, it feels like kind of like, I mean, it's different directors for the two, so it's going to like look a little different, but it just feels cleaner. The first one feels a lot grittier. More dirty, more like, I don't know, just, less clean.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch the other 2.
Yeah. We're checking out. Don't watch anything past that, but.
Dude, okay, I've randomly seen the Jeremy Renner one. Is that the 4th one?
Yes. That's the only one I haven't seen, funny enough.
Like, my grandparents were watching it because my grandpa loves Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He's a Matt Damon fan. And he's not even in that one.
Dude, yeah. I heard it was like the most generic. Like, it's not even like terrible. It's just like disposable.
Yeah, it's just kind of uninspired.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's done. Everything's like done really well.
Yeah.
It looks good, but it's just like
it didn't need to be made.
No,
it just doesn't.
The ending's really funny though.
Is it
for like not supposed to be funny, but it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
So the ending, Jeremy Renner, it's like build up to like, they're super soldiers, what they keep talking about. And they actually release one on Jeremy Renner. And the last 20 minutes is Jeremy Renner like throwing this guy into like cars and him getting run over and stuff. And like the guy keeps getting back up because he's a super soldier. And it's just, it feels very anime like, where it's like you just keep like throwing buildings at this dude and he keeps getting back up. I don't know. It's really
That's
funny
crazy
for some reason.
because the Bourne movies are kind of known, at least like the first three, of having like the action kind of feels real and grounded.
Yeah, like there's actual consequences for getting punched in the face.
Like you can tell like the actors did their stunts. Like it seems like like if anybody was like decently trained, I feel like anybody could get thrown around like that and like live in those movies. But wow, that's crazy with that one. I mean, once you get to like Jason Bourne, the latest one, there's he's driving like a giant armored truck and smashing into cars down Las Vegas, and it's like you don't buy. It's fun to watch, but you don't buy any of it. So
is it like the John Wicks where it just gets too much?
Well, the thing is, John Wicks have their own cool style. Jason Bourne is just kind of like 2016 shoot 'em up action, PG-13 action movie with Matt Damon. It was so unnecessary.
It's really weird. He was in an interview with Bob Simmons.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I'd do another one." I was like, "Really, man? Like, really? Like number 6?"
Dude, I feel like the Bourne movies are the epitome of 2000s action, and they kind of like set the wave for the entire like decade.
You would say, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I would look at like Transformers or something for that.
I mean, in terms of like just like shoot like gun action, gunplay.
Oh, like non-sci-fi action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I think it set the tone. Like The Matrix kind of, but like also the Bourne movies, especially that first one, because until like 2015, dude, you had like the Taken sequels and everything like trying to copy the same shaky style and just never getting anywhere near close with those like first three were able to do.
Who's the director of the first one?
Doug Liman.
Okay, Doug Liman. He was talking about in an interview I was watching. He was like, "Oh yeah, like the shaky cam, right?
Yeah.
That made it famous." He's like, "Yeah, that wasn't intentional."
Wow. I mean, they just had their own. I don't. So
he said the reason there was shaky cam was because they were stealing shots.
Oh, they shot a gorilla.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they couldn't.
I think I heard about that.
They couldn't bring the whole rig.
Yeah.
Into some places because they didn't have licensing, and so they just stole shots by bringing like the handheld rig.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, there's a lot of shots in there that we could get sued for if they knew where they were." It's like, wow.
No, nobody knows.
Yeah, and it's just like they hit it well enough. Like, oh, this looks like this area.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch Doug Liman's like first couple movies, he has like the movie Swingers with Jon Favreau, and then the movie Go from like the mid to late 90s.
I've heard of those. I don't know anything about them.
They're just like low budget 90 like just dramas of just characters, but they like have like the kind of grittiness to them because they feel real, like all the characters in those movies. They don't feel like kind of like a fake sort of like Quentin Tarantino 90s independent. Like it's like Jon Favreau in Swingers, he's just like a guy like I remember for his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, he keeps calling her, he's obsessed, and his friends are like, I think like it was Vince Vaughn. I can't remember the other guy who was in it, but they're like trying to get him to go out, and he's like all depressed, won't go outside. It's like it just feels like real people.
Huh.
And then Go is a little more over the top. It's like Timothy Olyphant plays like this drug dealer who's like after these like girls who work at like this grocery store because they get involved with like the wrong people. It all takes place in one night, but it's low budget though.
Okay.
So but everything like feels like it could happen and is gritty. It's a little over the top, but like it has its own, feel to it like that.
Is that the kind of movie? Like, what kind of movie do you want to make?
I mean, I love like dramas, like mid-budget dramas, like a movie like The Departed.
So good.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, gotta watch.
But I know it's good.
Necessity. Anytime it's on TV, I finish the whole thing.
Can you talk about your film you're writing with Sebastian right now, or do you not want to?
I don't want to give anything away. We are planning something, but it's still like we have the idea formulated. It's just that we still have to get like a script down. But we want to shoot it this summer.
You have a log line?
Yeah, we have the long line. Yeah.
What's the log line?
I'm gonna hold off on that for now.
Really, the log line?
The
pitch.
I'll tell you, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have it on the podcast. because I want to see if we can like flesh it out a little bit more. See if we can like maybe throw something in or change something up first.
I got you. Yeah.
Until
it's not like totally ready yet.
Until like production is finalized. Like in terms of we have a plan of where we want to shoot the actor or see somewhat of an idea of the actors, just the production notebook. Once we have that part done, then I'll like be more open to like dropping information out.
Okay.
So because we're not even going to look for actors right now because
Do you have a genre?
It's like it's drama, romance.
Romance drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
pretty cool stuff. There's going to be an opening scene that's going to be pretty exciting.
You got a runtime?
We want to do around 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of shooting like 4 minute.
Yeah, I get that.
Just film. So I was like, dude, let's try to make one that's a little longer. Like,
This is not including credits.
probably including credits. Yeah.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
a 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Murphy's Law, I think, was like 6.5 minutes. Or
6.5 minutes. Yeah.
It wasn't that long.
Yeah. Watching it, I realized how short it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept thinking like, oh, this is kind of. I felt like it went long, and I was like, oh, this is actually really short.
Yeah. No, it's a perfect runtime.
Really short. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if it like was 5 minutes longer, it would have probably dragged out.
Oh, dude, if
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
30 seconds longer, it would have
Yeah.
been too much.
So,
I cut out a lot of the end conversation.
did you?
Yeah, I cut out like 4 lines,
Mhm.
which is a lot since there's only like 28 lines or something.
Yeah. But it's cool, like the outside shots, like with Audrey. I was talking about with Sebastian. He's like, dude, like when you said the money shot, he's like, I didn't like noticed it, and I was talking about that with my friend Daniel as well. He's like, I hadn't noticed you. I heard you mention the money shot, and then he's like, I watched the movie, and he's like, I was able to identify it.
What's the money shot for
It's
you?
Audrey with the red on her face.
Which one though?
It's outside. It's like the one you have. There's an Instagram post you have on it. It's like behind the scenes. On one of your accounts, and it's just like her face, like looking all like panicked, kind of, and it's like the red just glaring on her.
Is it the one with the spa, the nail spa thing in the back?
I don't think so.
Okay, you'll have to point it out to
Yeah,
me.
I'll show you.
Because for me, the money shot is the running one, the super long shot.
Yeah,
That for me was like, okay, yeah, that's like the good shot.
that one's. I mean, when you're watching it, but in terms of like a thumbnail, that's what I'd make the thumbnail for.
Okay.
It is like that one, the one I'm talking about.
Have you seen the thumbnail for the YouTube video?
I don't
YouTube
have it.
upload?
I don't have it memorized. Like, I don't have like
Oh, it's
vivid
the
picture of it.
It's her, her credits.
Yeah.
Shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thumbnail.
Okay, that's a good one to choose.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it in like a couple weeks here
Yeah.
for the YouTube meta.
Okay.
That's real, dude.
Mhm.
Thumbnail switching. Like thumbnail switching and title switching is a big thing because you can do those after you upload it,
Yeah.
and then your viewers who have already seen it will click on it again because they think it's a new video, and it's just not. That annoys me so much, but it totally makes sense.
So what's the purpose of title switching and thumbnail switching?
So if your title appeals to a certain audience,
Yeah.
it won't always appeal to this other audience. And so you appeal to the certain audience on launch, like your core audience.
Yeah.
They'll all watch it. It's great. And then you switch it a week or two after launch. And then hopefully YouTube will give it to the people who wouldn't have watched it at launch, but they'll watch it later. And like this one guy, he's since retired from YouTube, which sucks. Max Riesinger. He's like this introspective. He kind of pioneered the whole introspective film boy vlog thing. Anyway, one of his videos was titled like I don't know, like I'm getting burnt out, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he switched the title to something like what was it? It was like finding a new beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like it went from like the negative to the positive, and so that hits two different audiences.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like the people who are like, oh, I feel getting burnt out, they'll watch that one and relate to it.
Yeah.
It's the same exact video. And then the people who are
The fans.
who want to get like inspired, like, oh, find a new beginning. I mean, we'll watch this video. And it's the same video, but it's like a different pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, and it could also update the fans of like where, he is actually feeling like him expressing himself out to them.
maybe, I don't know.
Like just like a life update. if they like care enough.
That'd be interesting if
Yeah.
you were like talking to your fan base through the changing of titles. That would be so meta.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like changing my titles because I put a lot of thought into the titles. It's like the hardest part.
Yeah.
I had that showcase vlog video uploaded for a week before I put the title on it,
Okay.
and it's just the film showcase vlog. That's the title because I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna get cute with this. It's just what it is.
Murphy's Law showcase vlog.
Yeah, it's
But
because
it's not even about Murphy's Law because there's like a bunch of other movies that are getting shown.
yeah, I was gonna show the
Yeah.
other movies, but it was already so packed.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna throw all these other films in there. I'll just throw mine in there.
Yeah, they can make their own vlog. The other people.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna have them like flashing by, like, oh, this was shown here and this was shown here, but who cares?
Yeah.
I already made the showcase edit that I
Gotcha.
posted on Instagram.
Mhm.
That one was fun to make. I made that in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's like with the what's the music you used in it?
Jeeps Blues.
Okay, that's right.
From that Christian Bale movie,
Which one?
American Hustle, or is it no?
Okay.
American, what is it? American?
I see. Yeah, American Hustle.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but
It opens the
remember.
movie with that
Okay.
song. And I was like, oh, it's so good.
I always thought the movie was overrated.
Amy Adams being not Amy Adams for
Yeah.
once. Kind of cool. I still have to see Arrival.
Arrival's great. I got to watch it again. I haven't seen it since I was 13.
That's Sam's favorite movie. He
Okay.
keeps telling me to watch it.
It's great. It's the twist at the end is
No, don't
Cool.
tell me there's a twist.
oh well. Let's just say it's it's a from an editing standpoint. It's like oh wow that's so cool.
Oh, the editing's really good?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude. It's just a way. It does something different with like like a way a movie is shown. It presents it in a whole different light. It's you'll watch the movie and understand.
Okay.
But it's yeah.
All right.
Yeah, dude. It just cemented. Like after that movie came out, and then I heard Denis Villeneuve was directing Blade Runner. I was like, oh, perfect. I was like, after Arrival, I was like, he's the perfect director. So
That's good.
yeah, I was just so young when I saw Arrival. Like I understood its genius, but it's like I just got to watch it again to like totally refresh myself.
See, I got lucky with that because I didn't watch all these films until I was older.
Some of them click right away, and then some of them take a long time. Moonlight, I watched that movie when it came out, and I was like, still like a young teenager. The movie didn't click with me, the life themes and everything, but I watched it again a year ago, and it's like, man, this is like one of the best movies ever made. Like I get, I'm like, it's actually like, I used to think it was overrated, but now I'm like, no, it's perfectly rated.
Okay.
Yeah, the themes of the movie goes over, and like just like it's kind of like capture of life. I'm like, no, that movie did something really cool. Like it's hard to explain, but it's like, it just like captured like there's no story in the movie. It's just you go just watch this guy do his thing in life. As he gets older, there's like 3 different chapters, and it's like, I don't know, like the director, you could tell the director was saying something, just about like growing up in like the harsh like ghetto rural environment.
My first SEC professor, maybe not my favorite, but he impacted me the most, was Professor Greenwald.
Yeah,
That was his favorite movie.
yeah, dude. And
He would never, he always, every class, he's like, you guys see Moonlight? Every class.
there's a reason why.
Okay.
I used to get annoyed. I'm like, dude, shut up. I don't care about Moonlight. And then, yeah.
And then you watched it.
Yeah, I was like, dude. No.
Dude, that's Forrest Gump for me.
Yeah.
When I watched it originally, I was like, okay, I kind of get, like, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah. How
But-
old were you when you watched it?
I was like 16, 17, something like that. And I watched it like 2 years ago when I was like 19. And like, it killed me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like crying watching that movie.
I love an aspect about that movie that like doesn't get talked about enough is the special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The VFX.
Dude, they aren't like actually changed.
Because they're done well.
And they're also they changed the game. Like him in the same room shaking JFK's hand. That wasn't really done before.
Really?
Yeah. It's like just Tom Hanks shaking his hand, and you're just like, you just buy it right away, but you're like, dude, they had to spend like a long time getting him in there like in black and white shaking his hand.
Really?
Yeah, like animating him in there.
Oh, they rotoscoped him into that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, it's revolutionary.
I always assumed they got like a JFK lookalike.
No, that's like him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The only one I knew about was the ping pong thing.
Yeah.
I knew that ping pong was fake.
Okay. Yeah. I actually don't know too much about that. What do you know about the ping pong?
Well, the ping pong ball, there's no ball.
Okay. Oh, they just animated the ball in.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool though. That's smart. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like when they're in Vietnam, like a lot of the background scenes, you look back there, you're like, yeah, that's all CGI back there. Like when the helicopters are flying and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to.
It's not
I'll
like
have to watch that
bad, but
again.
it's like after you know about the special effects and you watch it, you're like, oh, that's cool. They actually animated like all this area around them.
Well, I do remember Lieutenant Dan and his legs was like really
Yeah.
a big deal.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one as well. Yeah. So there's a bunch of little stuff in that movie. Like you could watch like probably a 30-minute YouTube video breaking down like
All the
it-
VFX.
Yeah. So it's impressive. Robert Zemeckis has always pushed the barriers of special effects.
Didn't he do Polar Express?
He did, yeah.
That
And
movie.
I haven't
a
seen it
weird
since I was a
movie,
little
man.
kid, man.
It was a tradition for my family to watch it.
Okay.
December 1st, it was like our Christmas movie.
Mhm.
Watching it now, it's like a film person, it's a weird movie. It's like really weird.
I heard it hasn't aged well at all.
No, so they did the facial tracking CGI for it.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks did the kids also. And the adult face is the adult face, the key contact points on like where the cheeks are and the whatever, the nose.
So it's motion cap they did?
Yeah, they did
Okay.
mocap for it. And I forget whatever they're called. Whatever the main points are on the face that they track.
The keyframe?
I don't know.
Okay.
With all the dots on the face,
Yeah.
right? You lay them out differently on kids than you do adults. Because a kid's skull is slightly different.
Yeah.
And the face sits slightly different because the skin is on your face. It's tighter than on an adult. And so that's why the kids all look freaky in that film. Because
Really?
they mocapped
yeah.
an adult and then they put a kid's face on it. And they just assumed it would work. But apparently kids' faces, like the dimensions are different. They're not just smaller, but like the ratios are all different.
So I'm not going to go back and watch the movie, but I'm going to watch like a clip that kind of showcases it because I'm curious.
Yeah, just watch any clip
Yeah.
with a kid in it and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They look really odd. Like the adults all look great.
Yeah.
They look fine, but the kids look freaky.
And Tom Hanks is the conductor, right?
He's everybody.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's basically everybody.
Oh, okay. That sounds freaky.
Yeah, it's a Tom Hanks film. I mean, he plays Santa Claus. He
Yeah.
plays the hobo guy. He
Okay.
plays the conductor, and he plays the dad. And he plays the kid when he grows up, like the voiceover.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think he did. I know he did mocap for the little boy at least.
Interesting.
So-
That's freaky, dude. Dude,
Yeah.
you know Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
He like back when his prime days in the 80s when he was actually like really funny. There's this movie called Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
A classic. Like it's still really funny. He plays like I think it's like 4 or 5 different characters in the movie.
Really?
He plays like the main actor, like who he is, and then like there's like a character like in a barber shop that's like wearing like an outfit, but it's actually him, and they're like he's like interacting like with himself.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny, dude.
Is it like I know Michael Keaton did something like that, right?
For which movie?
I don't know. I just know
Beetlejuice.
I know there's a movie where there's like 6 of him or something.
Okay.
That's got to be like. That feels like the Tenet stuff.
Yeah.
Like where you have to film it super weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6 Michael Keaton. That's got to be from like the 90s, I bet. 90s or 80s.
I had a friend the only reason I know about it is because I had a
Okay.
friend in elementary school who had a crush on him for some reason.
Okay.
I was like, what
Interesting.
an odd person
All right.
in like
Each of their own.
2008 to be
Yeah.
attracted to. But you know,
This is the forehead.
you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
That's wow.
I've only watched the Corridor Crew video of the new Flash movie.
Oh, dude,
They break down the VFX.
Don't watch it. It's bad. Watch like the scene where George Clooney comes in at the end. That's kind of funny. It doesn't make the movie better or worse, but
I think I have seen the George Clooney scene.
that was kind of cool. I was like, okay, that was clever, but everything else is like unwatchable.
I did watch the Ben Affleck scene though.
Okay, I mean, Ben Affleck's a good actor, and it's a shame that he actually never got a solo Batman movie. But
Yeah, I don't know. I know people don't like Batfleck, but
Yeah.
I really enjoy Batfleck.
No, he's good. It's just he wasn't given enough. There could have been something really great in there.
I think
that
so.
they could have crafted.
I mean, if you watch the Superman versus movie,
Yeah.
just like his solo scenes, the Ben Affleck solo, they're great.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's
he kicks
fantastic.
ass. Yeah.
Like on the what is it, Flashback FM on
Yeah.
YouTube with the 4K uploads.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I was just watching all the Bruce Wayne scenes from that movie.
Yeah.
Because they're the best scenes in the movie.
Dude, yeah. He's so good in the role, and like even like his fight scenes are really good, like in the warehouse and all that. Like
He has a presence
yeah.
in the suit.
He just looks like it's a cool looking suit. You know what I mean? He does well in the role. He had cool gadgets.
Yeah, like the Dark Knight Returns vibe.
Yeah, Alfred was cool in the movie. Like that whole thing was
One
good.
of my favorite Alfreds.
Yeah.
Is that Alfred?
Who played him in that movie?
I don't know.
It was Jeremy Irons.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. That's who it was. But yeah, dude. And then I was like, oh, he's gonna direct, because Ben Affleck's a great director, and I was like, oh, cool, he's gonna direct his own Batman movie. That's gonna be amazing.
Oops.
And then yeah, kind of stinks.
Oopsie.
But Batman 2022 is still amazing. So we did get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're getting part 2.
Yeah, somehow it's gonna get made.
So I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I know it's like the whole James Gunn universe is conflicting with it, supposedly, and that's kind of like,
Oh really?
yeah,
Oh.
because James Gunn wants to do Batman in his universe, but Matt Reeves already has a set up Batman, and it's kind of like they're kind of like shuffling right now of like what to do about that.
Why can't it just be like the Joaquin Phoenix thing where it's its own
That's
thing?
probably what they're going to end up doing. I think that's the only choice they really have, because they have to make Batman Part 2. Like they just it's not like they just can't.
It made so much money.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, dude, that movie developed so many fans. It's like they have to make it.
Yeah, the 2022 Matt Reeves Batman is like, I feel like it's Gen Z's The Dark Knight.
Yeah. No, I think The Dark Knight is still better, but there are aspects that I like about the Batman more than The Dark Knight. Like the cinematography is way better, and
Sorry, Wally.
yeah. Throw back to one of my first projects at
Oh man.
film school, where I just did a 2-minute take where I just read a script when at like 2:00 in the morning, like right before the project
Voice
was due.
memos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Batman 2022 is one of the best looking movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Greg Fraser.
Yeah. So
Oh, what's his name? Deakins was saying, he's like, oh, it's a crime that it wasn't even nominated, right?
I think it was nominated for music, which it should have won, if you ask me. And then
Michael Giacchino.
yeah, I think it's a great score. And then yeah, I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it did.
It at least got nominated.
Yeah.
Deakins said it should have won.
Oh, it should have. Absolutely.
He's on record saying, yeah, Batman should have won.
I think probably either like Top Gun or Western Front won that year, but yeah, Batman should have definitely won.
I will say Top Gun looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it again recently, and I was like, dude, they went so overkill in the cinematography.
Yeah.
But they were consistently overkill, so it worked.
Yeah.
Like the bar scene where he gets thrown out of the bar.
Yeah.
It looks too good. It's just so well done.
Okay. It's not in a bad way. Looks too good.
Yeah, it's like they shot it anamorphically, and it's so obvious they did it anamorphically because they committed so much to that look.
Okay.
It just looks like, yeah, it's just like, it's so polished. It's kind of like, you know how The Force Awakens, like everything in there feels like super, like new.
Yeah.
Like even if you
It was
watch
a great
it now.
looking movie, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stormtroopers, like the way they shined and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome to look at.
But like the people's, whatever with that is like, oh, Star Wars is supposed to be dirty,
Yeah.
and Force Awakens was too shiny.
Yeah.
I felt like Top Gun Maverick was a little bit too shiny.
Yeah.
But the whole movie was that way, so I liked it,
And it works with the, because the movie, I mean, it's a serious subject, but like it doesn't take itself seriously when it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like the polishedness works with that, because it's not a dark movie.
No.
The
first one is a little bit dark.
Yeah. Yeah. With the
Gets a little dark.
Yeah. When what's his face dies.
Rooster.
Yeah, Rooster.
Or no. Fuck. What is it?
I haven't seen the movie in forever, dude.
It's not Rooster. What's his name? Because Rooster's the Miles.
It's not Iceman.
No. What is his name? Goose.
Goose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Miles Teller is Rooster.
Yeah. Okay. Goose's son in part
Yeah.
2. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I got to watch part 2 again. saw it in like Dolby Atmosphere opening weekend. One of the coolest theater experiences, because it was all packed and everything.
Oh, dude. I will say Maverick was one of my favorite theater experiences. So good.
Well, because it was the movie that brought back movies after COVID. And it shows. When you go there in person to see it, you're like, yeah, dude, this is packed. Everybody's like, you could tell everybody's excited at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, dude, they
Dude,
did a
the
great job.
F-35, the sound design in that movie
Yeah.
is ridiculous. It is.
It should have. I think it won, but it rightfully so.
Mm.
Best like Oscar for sound design.
For some reason, you remember, you saw this video I made, the stupid trailer video.
Yes, that was for
I think it was for Bill True. Also.
Bill's class. Yes.
Yeah, it won the best trailer. Also.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember the teaser trailer when it came out in 2020.
I remember that too.
And I was like, you know what? A new Top Gun. I was like, I don't even like the original. Like, but I
You
was
don't?
like,
Okay.
No, but I was like, dude, that's honestly like a cool sequel to make.
Mhm.
Like Tom Cruise is older, he's gotten better at his craft, and it's like yeah, let's do it. A modern take. I'm like, that's a perfect idea.
And then it took 3 years.
and then it was like April or May. No, it was like March when they pushed it back. They're like, oh, we'll see you in 2021, and then it got pushed back to 2022, and I was like,
I'm glad they pushed it though.
oh yeah, dude, it wouldn't have made anywhere near as much money.
So I mean, same with Dune. Dune did a great job pushing.
Yeah.
They would have had to compete with Oppenheimer. I
Yeah.
mean, we saw how that turned out for Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So, dude, yeah, the Paramount marketing team, they screwed up really bad. Apparently, they're going to change the title. I don't know if this is actually happening, but they were talking about changing Dead Reckoning. They're just going to switch it to something else because they're scared of like the second one bombing.
Because of its affiliation.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's going to be the same movie, but just different title.
The Dead Reckoning Part 1 trailer is my favorite trailer ever made.
Oh, it's awesome. The theme song playing,
Yeah.
all the cuts of action. Yeah.
Mhm. Such a good trailer.
So like during COVID, I fell out of the loop with movies because there's nothing coming out, and like I just kind of like I was like 17. I kind of like didn't follow movies as much for like a year and a half,
I had a similar experience.
and then I went to go see Top Gun Maverick, right? And I didn't even know that the new Mission Impossible was coming out or anything, and I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, oh, sweet, like they're coming back with this too. I'm like, sweet,
Yeah.
dude, like this is exciting time. So that was like one of the movies that got me back in. Like there was Dune.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
That's what started to get me back in. I was like, okay, cool. Like Denis Villeneuve releasing a banger. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. And then the Batman came out, and that's like really brought me back in. And Top Gun, and then 2022 was just like a W year for movies.
Yeah.
And then I was like the first Oscar show I watched in like 4 years.
Was the 2022 one?
Yeah, or it was in 2023, but the one for 2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good. Yeah, good time. And then I started film school. I was like, cool. Like I'm getting back into like what I grew up loving. So good turning point.
That's a really cool like trajectory.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there was a time, dude, where I'd go like 2 months without even watching a movie, which was unlike me, dude. I used to like early in high school, dude, I'd watch a movie like at least like 3 or 4 a week. I was like, it was like a repetition thing.
Was it on like the school laptops?
No. I mean, I
No?
watch them like at home
Oh.
on like streaming or Blu-ray or whatever. Because I was really into like getting Blu-rays at the time.
My only Blu-ray. I have to flex it.
Interstellar.
My only physical copy of anything.
Yeah, good one to have.
The Interstellar copy with the.
Well, it's gonna look the best. Watching it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's the least compressed with
Yeah.
the special IMAX cell.
That's awesome.
Let's go. Yeah, it's the Dr. Man.
I'm scared to even touch it. Yeah, that's awesome.
I can actually.
70 million. I can't wait for the re-release of this.
If you put the light on it.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Let me pull this out. Show and tell. All right.
Bring it to class. Everybody's like, who cares?
I'll let you hold it because you have the better camera. Yeah.
All right. Here we are. There's Matt Damon.
Good old Matt. I don't even know if that's in frame. Put it near your face. There you go.
Matt Damon.
Good old Matt. Very cool.
Cool. Sweet.
Oh, dude, it looks so good. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I need to not look. We get distracted. Honestly, a very good role for him.
Yeah. He played a bad guy. Most people, when they watched the movie, didn't even know he was in it. Because the marketing was genius, as always with Nolan movies. And it's like, oh, an hour and 20 minutes, Matt Damon shows up. Like,
Yep.
that's awesome. And he's like playing like a bad guy who's like lost his mind. So.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So.
Do you see your family?
Dude, I've like ever since like Oppenheimer, me and you like made the jokes about Matt Damon like in the trailer. It's like I've like looked at his career and I'm just like, dude, like there's so many movies where he's like really good, and there's so many movies that like aren't bad, but he's just like just being straight Matt Damon.
He's just Matt
Yeah.
Damoning.
Yeah. Like he doesn't. He does a good job in every movie. He's not. He never really gives a bad performance. It's just like you can tell like there's just stronger ones than others, and like there's somewhere it just feels like he's just himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but he's not really like playing a character.
Did you watch Air?
Yes, and Air's great actually. That he definitely feels like Matt Damon in that movie.
Oh, okay.
And you know he's like with Ben Affleck and all that, and like Ben Affleck directed it. You could tell like this was fun for them to make. But like there's a scene where he gives a speech about like the importance of the Air Jordan, trying to convince Michael Jordan to sign with Nike.
Okay.
And like that actually didn't feel like Matt Damon. You've probably seen it in like the film edits.
I haven't watched.
Okay.
I actually haven't. I haven't seen a single part of Air that wasn't in the marketing,
Okay.
which is probably a good thing because I can watch it and
Dude, it's a good flick, man.
Actually enjoy
it's
it.
a good time. It was the best movie of like the first half of that year of 2023. So
small anecdote. I thought he was really good in Ford vs Ferrari,
Oh, yeah.
not being Matt Damon.
yeah, he was great. Thomas
Shelby.
Shelby, yeah.
Yeah. Is his name Thomas?
No, I think I was like, thinking of Peaky Blinders.
Wait, yeah. The Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
What is his name?
Carol.
Carol Shelby.
Carol
yeah.
Shelby.
And I make cars or whatever he says. And what was
So Christian Bale outshines him. I'm sorry. Christian Bale's so good in that movie.
All right.
Yeah, I think Christian.
I don't know if I agree with
Yeah.
that, but I don't know. I just like I'm a Matt Damon cuck, so
Yeah.
I really like it. I really like watching Matt.
Are you
Damon.
gonna watch the one I sent you on Instagram that I can't even remember the title for?
the Matt Damon
I
thing?
sent you as like a meme.
Oh, now I look like a bad friend.
No,
What are you
it's
talking
okay.
about?
You responded to it, but it's whatever. It's like some like movie with Casey Affleck they're making for like Prime. It's like a straight to Prime movie. It's probably like gonna bomb.
Streaming. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You send me a lot of different movies.
Yeah. Probably.
Which is good
it's hard to
because
get lost.
you're,
lost in the shuffle.
You aren't like I only like Drive and I only like Whiplash. You know, it's like
Yeah. Dude, Whiplash I've seen once like 8 years ago, and I like thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was like as great as everybody said. I'm gonna watch it again because it's been a while. But
okay.
I remember thinking like, yeah, that was good. The ending scene's good and everything. You know, he gets hit by the car and it's all covered in blood and it's really intense. Like, it's good stuff. You know, J.K. Simmons is legendary in that movie, of course.
Yeah.
Has the best biceps in a movie of all time.
Dude. It revitalized his career.
Yeah. So, you know, and I think he won the Oscar for that,
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Mhm.
Then it launched the career of Damien Chazelle, which has gone in interesting places with the Babylon movie. So, which I still recommend for everybody to watch, even if you're not even a movie fan, because it's just such an all over the place movie.
I've seen the scene. I've seen the scene where Brad Pitt kills himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's some really good Brad Pitt acting.
Yeah. Dude, everybody does a great job in the movie. Like Tobey Maguire shows up and like his like golden teeth looks all nasty. And I'm like, dude, this guy needs to be in more movies. He shows up and he's like awesome in it. There's so many good scenes. It's just like,
That's what I feel about
Yeah.
Damien Chazelle. He's a
Yeah.
really good director.
yeah.
You know, like I feel like he gets the most out of his actors and a lot of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like people are like, oh, like his movies are so, they're so aesthetic or whatever the heck. But
Cool.
He gets whatever, right? They look good on Instagram. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But I feel like, people like really like Ryan Gosling and La La Land. It's like, well, that's Damien Chazelle.
Yeah.
Getting all that, pulling all that out of him.
Mm-hmm.
The same with J.K. Simmons. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And then First Man, the really underrated Damien Chazelle
The
movie.
one everyone forgets he made.
But it's great. It's an amazing movie, dude.
I'll have to check it out. I've
Yeah.
listened to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because of Justin Hurwitz.
Yeah.
Also did that one.
Yeah, he's a great artist. Yeah, dude, Ryan Gosling is just like so laid back in that movie, and apparently like that's how Neil Armstrong was. He wasn't really like a talker.
Wait, Ryan Gosling plays Neil Armstrong in
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, like
I didn't know-
the
I didn't know
movie
he was in that movie.
completely bombed. Right? I don't know
Yeah.
if it bombed. It didn't make a lot of money. Not a lot of people saw it. It got well received. Got like a couple Oscar nominations for technical stuff, but it's a really great movie, dude. He's like all laid back, and it's just what Ryan Gosling's good at, like the quiet guy. But it's like that's how Neil Armstrong was apparently in real life, and he captures it really well. And the scenes where he's like training to go to space are like so well shot.
I'll have to check
There's
it
a
out.
scene where he's like flying in a jet. I think it's like the opening scene of the movie. And it's like it's really intense stuff. Yeah. And like the score, I like the finale of the movie. It's amazing.
I will have to check it out.
Yeah. I highly recommend. I haven't seen it since theaters, but I remember really liking it.
I feel like Damien Chazelle can't make a bad movie in terms of like execution.
No. He has yet to. All of his movies are extremely entertaining. Especially, dude, Babylon is like that movie. I watched all the way through, and it's like not boring at all for a second. It's just so like something's gonna happens every scene. Like someone dies every scene. Like something crazy happens. Something explodes. Like the movie's expensive. Like really expensive.
I remember the budget was a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people say like the movie in like 10 years is going to be like considered a classic, misunderstood. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I think it's a movie that everybody should watch because it's just felt like so different. Like the way it's like really over polished in some scenes to kind of like capture like how fake everybody's being like on their like drug addiction and all that. And especially like the party scenes at the beginning of the movie. The opening scene is 30 minutes at a party.
Whoa.
And then the title card pops up.
After 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 minutes. And I'm like, dude, that's so cool. It's like,
Whoa.
yeah. Like when that happens, like, you know, you're in for something.
Title card after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I highly recommend it. The Mexican actor in the movie, I don't remember his name, but he's really good in it. And I like love to see more of that guy get roles. Like he's the best part of the movie. He's better than Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. Yeah. And I think he's like basically the protagonist of the movie.
Okay.
So
I know nothing about the film, really,
Yeah.
in terms of the actual plot.
the movie opens with a guy getting shit on by an elephant. And right then and there, you're like, okay,
This kind of movie.
this is going to be, it hooked me right away. I was like, all right, this is going to be something. Like right off the bat, that's what it tells you. So.
Wow. That reminds me about, what was it? Kind of like the way that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood opens
Yeah.
is so not the movie at all.
It opens, they're like driving around, right?
They drive and meet Al Pacino
Okay, that's right.
at a bar.
That's right. Okay. And they talk about his film roles, right? And it cuts to like him like with the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat sauerkraut.
And then there's the random Kurt Russell narration
Yeah.
for 5 seconds, and then it never shows up until the very end for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck that was, but
Dude, Samuel L. Jackson voiceovers see like a part in *Inglourious Bastards*.
what part?
I think it's like during like the second act, chapter 2, like with the bastards at the beginning, when he's talking about like I think about the bastards, like the narration scene. I think it's either about the Nazis or the bastards, but he's like talking. It's kind of like an exposition scene, but it's like not a necessary exposition scene. It's just kind of like
It's just there.
it's just there for fun, and Samuel L. Jackson voices it. I'm like, it's kind of cool.
Like their introduction.
Yeah.
I don't remember being like, oh, that's Samuel L. Jackson. I'll have to...
No, it's not noticeable. I saw it because I was just reading around on IMDb.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't pick it up if you didn't know it.
You gotta love the unnecessary stuff. That reminds me of, like, I feel like there's a lot of movies that for some reason they keep the weird thing at the beginning because it's like they had an idea and they just didn't commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
In Oppenheimer, like the very first scene, there's text on the screen that says 1.fission.
Yeah.
As in like chapter 1 of American Prometheus.
Oh, and then fusion.
Fission.
No, but there's fission and fusion.
When does it say fusion?
When Robert Downey Jr. is introduced, black and white.
Is it also the very beginning?
It's pretty early on in the movie. Yeah.
Because I don't remember the fusion. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing that. I was like, okay, it's gonna be that type of movie.
It's to split up to the different because they two. I'm not a huge person with like chemistry and science, but I know the two relate to each other when it comes to like scientific factors.
Yeah.
Fission and fusion. And it's just kind of like a creative thing with the names, but it's kind of just to divide up the two different time periods of what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
It's pretty cool.
I don't
like
remember
it.
fusion coming up. That's really interesting.
Yeah. It literally, I think it cuts up like you see Robert Downey Jr.'s face in black and white, and it says like fusion at the bottom, no, like 2.
Okay.
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, okay, this is a Nolanism, because he did it in Dunkirk.
Oh, they did do that in Dunkirk. Yeah.
The mole, and the air, and the I don't remember the specific names.
I don't remember the fusion part. That totally
Yeah.
kills what I was about to say. I was gonna say like, oh, it's weird they just did that one thing and they
Yeah.
never did it again. But that totally makes sense
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it connects them. But yeah, and then the American, they have like I forgot about the whole text thing at the beginning. I remember in like IMAX, that part was like so loud, and I was like, oh, cool.
Dude, that movie is so loud for no reason.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I don't like about it. Well, that's not the only thing, but
yeah.
my least favorite part about that movie is how freaking loud it is.
Mainly, it's mainly peaks loud during like the interrogation scene.
Yeah.
With, like all the
When-
press and lawyers.
When they like blow out the lens on the camera
Yeah.
with the light. Yeah.
That scene is pretty loud. It didn't really bother me, but I was like, yeah, I could see how like somebody could totally think that's like just unnecessary.
I thought when he's giving the speech
That was
in
pretty loud.
Los Alamos,
Yeah.
there's a part where it's like all silent and then it gets really loud for some reason.
Mm.
I legitimately got annoyed. I was like, really? Like, that was just, I don't know. I gotta watch it again though, because I will say out of like the Nolan films, it definitely has the most unique feel to it.
I think it's his best, might be his best protagonist. It's the one I think you could connect with the most.
Over Matthew McConaughey or Leonardo DiCaprio.
I mean, he feels like a lot, like just so human. Like I feel like you really got to like know him really well compared to like his other protagonists. Like you got to understand, like, I don't know, you got to, because the whole like things with his visions and his mind and everything, it really, I think, connected with the protagonist. And it like, you know what I mean? He's like a lot more flawed. I mean, all of his protagonists are flawed, but like his character is very flawed. And I like the way it's like expressed. Like he doesn't eat or anything. Like it showcases all of that.
Does he never eat in the movie?
There's a scene where this guy like hands him oranges and he's like, you need to eat something. Blah, blah, blah. You need to eat. You're skinny. It's like kind of like a repeated thing.
Huh.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, you know, Batman, of course, is really fleshed out actually in those movies. Like, especially in Batman Begins.
I find it hard to compare that specific movie
Yeah.
characters because it's based on real life.
Yeah.
So you can only,
But I mean, you got to know, like, I feel like you really got to understand him, like, in terms of the way he functioned and everything, his decision making. Like, it all was clear. So, because, like, in Inception, you're kind of just thrown into it. You know what I mean? You don't really know, like, a ton before. You just know, like, a little bit. Like, he can't see his kids and all that, you know, that he just wanted. You never really get the whole explanation of, like, I mean, you do get the explanation, but, like, you don't really know how he ever, like, got into the dream type of thing. He's just kind of in it. And it actually makes, I think it's better for mystery. I think Inception is still a better movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's his best movie.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Easily. That idea is just so, like, well fleshed out and crafted.
I mean, Inception is his magnum opus.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Like, it's the film that, like, La La Land is Damien Chazelle's magnum opus.
Yeah.
They had the script for it in college.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we have to make movies so we can have enough money to make La La Land.
Yeah, he finished writing Inception in, like, 2003.
Yeah, and then he was just sitting on it.
He had to make Batman.
Until he had money to make it.
Yeah. And then once he made Batman, he was given enough money. And
Yeah.
he's like, I will not make Dark Knight Rises until I can make Inception. That's what he told Warner Bros.
Really?
Yeah.
So how much money did they give him for that?
For Inception?
Yeah. What
Like
was the budget?
160 million, I think. And made 900 million. So
That's
W.
right. It did basically make $1 billion.
Yeah. So after that movie, he was allowed to, I think, make whatever he wanted at that point because he could make an original concept
Yeah.
and make all that money. It's like, yep, he can do whatever. And then he was able to do Interstellar. That made a ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, having, The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
Inception, Dark Knight Rises, it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't, the reception was interesting for that. Not his fault. Heath Ledger killed himself.
Yeah.
And then Interstellar right after that.
Yeah. Dude, that's just...
I mean, I feel like a lot of directors have those runs. I mean, you look at Spielberg.
Yeah.
Right? You had, like, freaking...
Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in
in
the
the
same
year.
year.
And then also he had his Indiana Jones and then E.T. like right after. And then he had Close Encounters before that.
Jaws. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mid 70s to
The
almost
early
till-
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could say even for like 20 years, honestly, dude. Over 20
Kinda
years, he was...
Straight bangers.
Yeah. Yeah, 2000s, he got a little weird, but yeah, but he still has like some really, like, Munich, which is really underrated, about the
Have not seen that.
Israeli government going after it was a true story in like the 70s. These Olympic athletes were all taken hostage by terrorists and all executed. It's about the
jeez.
Israeli government going after the terrorists, and it's really gritty and badass. Actually, it's a true story, but like, dude, it's like, yeah, this is just straight like revenge and from the government, and it's pretty awesome. It's like really dark for a Spielberg
I think I
movie.
remember you telling me
Yeah.
that Spielberg made like a war action thing.
Yeah, and like Daniel Craig's in it, Eric Bana, like pre-Bond Daniel Craig. It's like, dude, I'm like, why does nobody talk about this movie? This movie is awesome. It's so dark and gritty and doesn't feel. I mean, it has like the polish that like most Spielberg movie do, like with the exposure and everything.
Yeah.
But like, dude, it has just a different vibe, different feel to it. So, and then he made Kicking with the Crystal Skull right after, which yeah, it's like, dude, come on.
Yeah, he didn't want to make that movie.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did, dude. I mean, except
Lucas did.
yeah,
Lucas and Harrison Ford wanted to
Lucas,
make it.
man.
They're the ones that convinced him. Should not have made it. Oh well.
So speaking of that trio, Francis Ford Coppola has a new movie coming out called Megapolis this year. It actually was given a release date this morning for September.
September.
Yeah, it's his first like big budget movie since the 90s.
Yeah, I always assumed that he had retired.
Yeah, everyone kind of thought that, but he personally funded it.
Wow.
$150 million. I mean, guy's loaded.
I hope
so
he makes it back.
He's not. He's not.
He's not gonna make it. You don't think so?
No. The movie was viewed at film festivals and has mixed reviews already.
Oh.
Everybody's like, it's so impressive to watch, but man, is it a mess. It's like Babylon, kind of that way. Like, it's just like, oh, you have to watch it, but man, it is a mess. Like, that's kind of what everybody is saying about it so far. I'm going to go see it in IMAX because it looks, the trailers, I'm like, dude, this looks like a freaking cool movie. So,
I still haven't seen a trailer. I didn't know they had trailers out.
yeah, they came out a couple weeks ago. But yeah, like Adam Driver, you know, and everything. And it's like about New York City gets destroyed by like some like natural disaster. And it's about he's going to rebuild it as a utopia.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, I got to go check this out.
All right.
So,
Megapolis.
yeah, his last big hit was Bram Stoker's Dracula in like 1993.
Oh, jeez.
So it's been a long freaking time.
I'm not a Coppola guy. I don't know if I've ever seen one of his films
Okay.
that I know of.
You got to watch Godfather 1, 2, and Apocalypse Now. Those are like,
That's true.
you just got to watch those three. And there's this one called The Conversation with Gene Hackman. They came out in between Godfather 1 and 2.
It's funny. The only reason I know
Yeah.
about The Conversation is because of the music in it. It's infamously not. I don't know if infamous is the right word, but the whole soundtrack is a piano solo.
Yeah, I kind of remember. I remember the piano.
That's
Yeah.
like a big deal in the music community. That like the whole movie.
Dude, it's a great movie. It just came out like in between his two biggest hits and totally got like thrown in the dust. So,
Megapolis. Okay.
yeah, so it's gonna be
September.
in the film community. It's gonna be a freaking big deal when it comes out.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure.
just because of the budget and the director.
$50 million
So
self-funded.
yeah, it's got Giancarlo Esposito, like Dustin Hoffman, like a lot of
Is that how you say his name?
yeah,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
What? Say it again.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Esposito. He was one of those names where I just always like recognized it as like
You didn't
that's
feel like
what that
reading it?
is, but I never like.
It's just too much.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, it's the Gina guy.
Yeah,
Gus.
I guess. And then he's just like in The Boys and then Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think he's starting to get a little typecasted.
A little bit.
Yeah, like the guy in the suit that's like,
Uh-huh.
you know, does bad.
Yeah, and he's
thing.
really smart, and that's what makes him.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like I know he's making money and everything in his life.
I mean, he even did that in
great.
Far Cry.
Yep, same dude. I bet you it's like the same freaking role. They had him
I hope
literally
not.
in the marketing. It was like, he was like, "Hi, I'm Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm in Far Cry 6." Like that was like their big marketing for the game.
I remember.
I never
because
played it.
There's
but-
the meme of him like looking
Yeah.
at the camera.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay. I mean, I didn't play the game. I don't even know if anybody really did, if it was that big of a deal. But did you?
Yeah, I didn't play it. I know
Okay.
the marketing was a big deal, but
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It was a while ago now.
I actually really enjoyed him in season 1 of Mandalorian.
I never watched The Mandalorian.
Really?
No,
The first season's worth watching.
I got Star Wars'd out.
And then the Boba Fett episode of season 2, and that's about it.
Okay.
That's about it. People really like the Bill Burr episode,
Yeah.
but I'll take it or leave it.
Yeah. I know people say season 3 took a dip.
Oh, I didn't even Didn't even tune in.
watch
No,
that.
I
Yeah.
didn't even tune in.
But a lot of people are telling me like just watch at least season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like season 1 is worth, even if you're not going to watch the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So
It wraps it up pretty well.
Yeah.
It's a good wrap up. I mean, season 1 is good because people actually die.
yeah,
That's how I felt about. You've seen Stranger Things, right?
only the first season.
The only one worth watching.
Yeah.
I've seen season 1 and 2 and
Actually, no, I've seen
episodes of
season
3.
2. Sorry, season 2. I thought
was with the spider thing.
was unwatchable.
Really?
Season 2 for me. That I kind of like blocked it out from my mind and like never wanted to watch the show.
What did you
again.
like about season 2?
I just remember the character of 11. I just don't care. I don't care.
Spike's camera. I don't care about.
I can't get into that show, dude. I watched 2 seasons and I was like,
That's weird because
this
season
whole town
2
could
was
explode, and I wouldn't give I wouldn't give a crap at all.
season 2 was kind of like Noah Schnapp's character's season. It wasn't really a Millie Bobby Brown season.
But dude, like when she goes off and like robs the bank or whatever with like
With the random like
Dude,
spin-off episode. Yeah.
I was like, this is really bad. This is hard to get through. And I finished the rest of the season. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. There's something I wish I don't maybe they bring it back in season 3. I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn because
Yeah.
season 4 is done right now. Is David Harbour's sheriff character.
Yeah.
In the first season, they have this whole thing about like his ex-wife who like died or something.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
been a while since I've watched it.
And that was like a big deal for him to like, oh, I'm gonna like, team up with. Her name escapes me, and that's terrible because she's a great actor. Who's the mom?
Oh, Winona Ryder.
Yes, Winona Ryder.
Yes. She's actually really great in that show.
I think so.
Yeah.
She carries the first season.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good. Her and David Harbour carry the first season, and like the dynamic with her and his character is like, oh, I have to like help out this mother because I feel bad about my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
That like I totally bought it for his character.
Yeah.
Made sense. And then the rest of the season, it's like, or sorry, the rest of the show, they just never bring it up again.
Really? Just
Yeah.
a wasted.
Yeah, like season 2, they never bring up his ex-wife.
Mhm.
For I don't know what happened with him. And then the first season, like I totally like they kill the shop owner in the first episode. I think
Yeah, I haven't watched it since
I've watched it one time
since
when it came out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since, to be honest. So my memory, I remember season 1 way more than season 2.
Season 1 is fantastic. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I thought it was like pretty good. That's why I watched season 2. I wasn't like into it. I wasn't like putting the poster on my wall that everybody put on. You know what I'm talking about? I wasn't like that, but I was like, okay, like this is decent. You know, I don't care about 11. Like I just don't care at all. But
Not
I was
even
like,
in season 1.
no, I was like, dude,
Really? Okay.
But I was like, all right. I thought it was good enough to like watch season 2, and then season 2, I was like, okay, I don't care anymore. And then people say season 3 actually picks up, but I never really cared to watch it.
Season 3, I stopped watching after episode 2 because episode 1 and 2, like 1, they set up like freaking 6 different story arcs in the same episode. Like, just off the top of my head, they have the Max's older brother, the asshole guy, right? His whole relationship with like the mom, the weird thing, and then they have Will Byers is like, oh, I don't have a girlfriend, and then Dustin, Gaten Matarazzo's character, is like, oh, I have a girlfriend, but she's like out and she goes to another school.
Yeah.
And then they have Finn and is it 11? That are they like? Yeah, it's Finn and 11, and then on top of that they have Hopper, David Harbour's character, and something I forget what he's doing, and then they have Winona Ryder's character doing her own thing, and then Caleb McLaughlin's character, I don't even know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they have Max's older brother, asshole guy with a mullet.
I remember him. Yeah.
He like gets possessed by the demon underground.
Yeah. The underworld.
Upside down guy. And then he's kidnapping these like lifeguards. It's like, bro, like this is the first episode. Like we need to chill out. And I was like, this is too much. I can't watch this.
It's like Spider-Man 3. There's like 100 different plots going on.
Is that what happens in that one?
You never seen it?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's why that movie sucks. It's like they couldn't just pick one thing and go with it.
Yeah, like the first one, they had they had like 2 things. They had Hopper and the mom, and then they had the kids. That was it. That was the whole show. And the whole point of the show was that they weren't talking to each other, and that was the genius of it. And then the second season, it's like everyone is all friends already. It's like, okay, I don't know.
It's just like when 11, dude, like starts to like wander off into her own thing, man. That I just like,
dude, it's so, I don't know why it's so funny to me that 11 pisses you off.
I just like, because everybody, it was like the most hyped up thing. Like, oh my God, dude, like this character of 11. I was like, dude, I don't care.
It's just like,
I don't know. It's like, I've seen like stuff like this done just way better.
Yeah, I mean, the first season it stole a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Finn is just an Elliot ripoff.
Yeah.
Of E.T.
That's what I thought the entire time.
I mean, yeah whatever.
Yeah.
It's not Finn. It's not.
None of the actors were bad.
His name is Mike. It's not even Finn.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard. Yeah, it's not Finn Wolfhard's fault. He's
You can still call him Finn.
He was like, what was he, like 13 when they made that?
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know. I liked that Will Byers was like not even in the show.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then they had the whole Clash, well, should I stay or should I go song. That was cool. They had a lot of cool concepts. I could talk so long about how bad I feel about Stranger Things and where it's gone.
Have you seen every episode of the? Oh no, you stopped watching after season 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, I don't know.
Isn't season 5 is where they're at now? That's gonna be the newest one.
That's the finale. They're done after that.
Okay, I mean, I know that.
I mean, Millie Bobby Brown's, she's like 19 or something now.
Yeah.
We're supposed to buy her as like a 15-year-old.
Yeah. No, you can't for much longer. So, but I mean, 5 seasons is good to end off on for any show.
Yeah.
And obviously, like that show takes a long time to make the production. Everything is a lot bigger than most TV shows. So,
Yeah.
So that's probably why they can't like just do one a year and they have to stretch it out. But that's smart.
Dude, that's the thing about the Harry Potters that shocks me.
Yeah.
I mean, except for Prisoner of Azkaban, there's like a 2-year gap.
Yeah.
For that one, they were just pumping them out,
Yeah.
dude.
And they're all like really high in quality.
Yeah,
production.
decently well made. Yeah.
Some of them are definitely better than others, but you know, Azkaban's dude, so good.
Killer movie.
Yeah.
So
the effects and everything, I was like, dude, you can tell like it's a different director. It's Alfonso Cuarón, who's like an Academy Award nominated director. I think he might have even won an Oscar. And then like all the other directors are kind of like, you know, they're whatever.
Yeah, the first film is a really good Harry Potter film. Like
Chris
The Sorcerer's
Columbus
Stone. Yeah, Chris Columbus is a great child director.
Yeah. Home Alone's classic. Yeah.
But the third one is like just a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you could watch it alone, like stand alone from the rest.
Basically, yeah.
Except for the ending shot's kind of hilarious. He flies up like
Oh, and the
into
freeze
camera,
frame.
and it's like
The
this.
freeze frame is weird.
It's terrible, but it's like, it's okay. I can forgive it. The rest of the movie's great.
Because the soundtrack's great at that
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
They had John Williams.
But yeah, that's good. And then Goblet of Fire is good too. I like that one.
Goblet of Fire is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
I mean, it's when they start to get really, really dark too. Like it's the shift in the series. You know?
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's cool.
I don't know, like Prisoner of Azkaban is pretty freaking dark.
It is. But it's like when like Voldemort actually comes in. And it's like
Yeah.
it's good stuff. And like Robert Pattinson's pretty cool in the movie too. His presence and like that whole thing.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I forgot. He
Yeah.
was Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
So and the movies just have amazing effects, bro. Their effects are insane in those movies. They still hold up like really well. So
I'm still reeling from realizing Robert Pattinson was Barty Crouch Jr. What the heck?
dude, he gets
That's hilarious.
brutally murdered. That was like a brutal like PG-13 murder.
How does he die?
He just gets killed by Voldemort, but I remember like they just like show his body and it's like he's just crying and it's like just so dark, like for like a kid's kind of movie. It's PG-13, but it's like still like a lot of kids are watching it.
Wait, they kill off Barty Crouch Jr.
Yeah.
in that movie?
Yeah.
Really?
No, it was Cedric. He played Cedric Diggory.
He played Cedric?
Yeah,
Who played Barty Crouch Jr. then?
I couldn't tell you, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
He played. Oh, I'm stupid.
And he gets massacred at the end. And it's like it's really dark PG-13 death. Yeah.
I think Peter Pettigrew kills him. Not to be all Tumblr
Okay.
Harry Potter on you.
Yeah. You can go for it. I watched them over COVID. That was actually kind of fun.
Yeah,
I
they're
watched
good
them all in like
time.
a week. It was cool.
Did you ever read the books?
I read the first 2. I was never really a big reader when I was younger, so I couldn't. Yeah, go for it. Doing good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wanted to make sure the camera didn't die.
Oh yeah. But I think Harry Potter: The Order of the Phoenix, I actually still think is really good. I think it's underrated.
That's the one I really haven't spent a lot of time with.
Yeah. It's dude, like the wizard battle at the end. There's like no music. It's just all like effects and
That's true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like this is awesome. Yeah,
And the Voldemort fight, also no music.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like the opening scene with like the Death Eaters and everything, like good stuff. I think it's a genuinely good movie, really underrated.
I will say the casting in that movie, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, Dorley's Umbridge cast,
Oh yeah,
whoever plays her.
yeah. She's also a great villain.
Yeah, she does
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, she's awesome. And
I know I
then
already asked you, did you read the books?
just the first two.
Just the first two, okay.
Yeah, I liked them. I just wasn't a big reader when I was younger.
Okay.
And I just didn't really feel like reading all of them. I like saw how long was it? Order of the Phoenix?
Goblet of Fire and On, they get really thick.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
I feel that.
But the first one was, that was a fun read. When they get to Diagon Alley, I remember in the book, I was like, oh my god, it's just like in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
I remember I saw the movie first too. So
Yeah.
it was like a kind of.
Well, and then I think Half-Blood Prince is, I didn't really care for that one.
It's the most controversial
I think it's really boring.
because a lot of people say that's the best book.
Hey,
And they say that the movie was done really
I haven't read the
poorly.
book, so I can't say anything. But
Yeah. People say that the movie is bad because it didn't follow the book.
Yeah.
And because the book is good. I don't know.
I didn't read the book, and I found the movie to be pretty freaking boring. The finale is good. I don't remember anything else that happens before the finale, dude.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't
it's
either.
like a 2.5 hour movie, dude, and I don't remember anything. Like it's just like a lot of like romance drama, like with the three characters, and it's like just wasn't that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like thematically it feels like they were stalling until the Deathly Hallows stuff.
Yeah, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is actually, I think, amazing. That movie, I think, is also underrated. I think the music in that movie is the best in the entire series.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
that's
yeah.
a hot take.
I loved it.
It's a hot take.
Yeah. And I just like the darkness. It's like, dude, it's like when it's like really like at the peak of like dark tone of the series. So there's like the scenes where they're like hijacking the train and they're like, where is he? Where is he? Like interrogating and all that. And then they like have to run off, and it's like the different one. It's like, okay, they're not going to go to Hogwarts this time. Like they're, they have to do their own thing.
Oh, on an acting level, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah.
Her actor playing Hermione Granger, playing her character
Oh man.
in the bank scene,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That's good.
Incredible
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
By that actress.
Dude, there's good stuff in that movie like that, like little things. Like the whole animated bit in the movie is really cool, where they're like kind of give some exposition, and it turns out like
the like
the Deathly Hallows.
the Renaissance looking animation.
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, this is cool. I like this. And then the movie ends with like Dobby dying and all that. It's like, honestly, Dobby's not even really in the movie, so it's not that emotional. Like looking back on it, he's not in them. So
No.
it's not sad. Sorry. But and then it ends, and then like the end, Voldemort gets the wand. I'm like, yeah, cool setup. Like that's like the one time where part 1 and part 2 were actually like necessary.
I can't imagine being, because I wasn't really into them when they came out.
Yeah.
Like I watched them after the fact.
Dude, I
was
had those
too
on
young.
repeat. My dad said he got like, I talked to him about it recently. He's like, dude, the day you stopped watching those, I was so happy. He's like, he's like, dude, you had those movies on so much. He's like, I couldn't stand them.
Like the ending scene when they're at the train station of part 2, or even the ending scene when he throws
Dude, part 2. I know we were talking great about Azkaban, but I think part 2 is actually the best one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the best paced. It just moves really well, really smooth. Doesn't try to be anything too crazy. It's just the final battle, and it's really fun to watch. You have good emotional moments. It just never stops. Like I love how it just keeps going the entire movie. It has a great pace, and then it ends just really simple, but like a perfect conclusion to everything.
Yeah, I will say the conclusion for that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being, like in high school, like being really obsessed with these characters.
Yeah.
And then the scene where he throws the wand off of the bridge.
Yeah.
And like it does a pan out of the three of them.
Dude, it's awesome.
It's like,
The
man,
music and everything.
I can't imagine being so into that series and being in the theater for that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so like that one, I don't know. It feels, again, Azkaban and then the last one, they feel like a whole different level of like, I could watch
they up
those.
their game.
I could watch those on their own and like not have to watch the other movies. Like Deathly Hallows Part 1, I couldn't watch that just like by itself. Yeah, or like Half-Blood. I would never go watch like Half-Blood Prince by itself.
The hate is real.
But yeah, no, Part 2, the ending is great and everything, dude. How he like dies. I remember like getting really emotional. I was like 8 years old when that came out.
Oh, because you didn't read the book, so you had no. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, you did. I was like, there's no way he can die, but like, did he die?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a cool experience. And then yeah, I didn't see any of them in theaters, but when the Lego games came out, and then like the movies all came out around the same time, I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I just watched like all of them and played all the Lego games and everything. I was obsessed.
The Lego, the first 4 movies Lego game, solid game. Yeah. Really well made game.
I think the second one too. It had like the open world and everything.
I didn't play the second one, so I don't have an opinion on it. But
yeah, as like a kid, dude, I was like, yeah, this is a pretty like cool game to play alongside with the movies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, dude, yeah, it was a cool time because those were actually like all like quality movies. You know what I mean? Like even Half-Blood Prince, I don't really like it, but it's not like a terrible movie or anything by any means. It's just kind of forgettable.
That was I think we were talking about this over Instagram, like the era of like well-made saga movies.
Yeah.
You know?
You have the Pirates movies, you have like the Dark Knight movies, the Lord of the Rings, and then, you know.
The first round of Marvel movies.
Yeah, the first, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, like the first Iron Man and everything, dude. Like it's
Jon
kind of
Favreau,
like, it's cool. It's cool at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never didn't like the first one.
Yeah. And like when Samuel L. Jackson shows up at the end, I saw that in theaters, dude, when I was like 5. I was like, the Avengers. I was like, that's cool. Like we didn't know what it was going to look like at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I remember when Avengers came out, 2012. It was, people were like, oh my gosh, like they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And they're doing it well. Like I feel like the reaction was more surprise than it was anticipation. We were like, just like, whoa, they actually did it. Like, good job.
Yeah, it just happened too. It wasn't like it didn't feel forced or anything.
No.
Yeah. Like Justice League when that came out, that was so forced. But like Avengers, it's like, dude, they took the time and like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because every movie was like pretty decent. You know what I mean? I didn't really care for the Hulk movie with Edward Norton, but
random ass movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like all the others were pretty good. Like I liked the first Captain America. First Iron Man. I haven't seen the first Thor since theaters, but I remember liking it when I was a little kid. So seeing that on the first time on the big screen, especially when I was 9 years old, dude.
For Avengers?
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was like, no way, because it had never been done before.
No.
Yeah. The whole concept of like multiple superheroes in a movie.
Yeah.
So
like multiple. Like, they have their own movie already. Yeah. They're not just bringing them in.
So that was a cool concept at the time. It's not cool anymore, but it like in the 2000s, like late 2000s, early 2010s, dude, that was, yeah.
And people forget like the reason that the first Avengers worked was because Samuel L. Jackson was the protagonist.
Yeah.
He wasn't the main character, really. It was kind of Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah.
But he was the protagonist. Like he moved the plot.
Yeah.
And they kind of ditched that in the later ones. Yeah. They just made like...
They focused too much on...
They made like Iron Man the protagonist.
Yeah, it's also cool, like the context of Iron Man too, its time, like Robert Downey Jr. having like the best comeback ever.
Iron Man 1 TOO2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Iron Man 1 was like this comeback. He had like Tropic Thunder that year and Iron Man, right?
I didn't know Tropic Thunder came out that same year.
So dude, he had like a killer year, right? Like I was 5 years old and even I knew his name. I was like, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Like as a 5-year-old, I was like, wow, like I got to see everything this guy's in. And then like it started the whole Avengers too.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a cool time for movies.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Dude, the first Avengers movie, I still think, like as a template for how to make a hype superhero movie. I don't know, like the way everything's presented in that movie has this aura of like importance. It feels important.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that Iron Man doesn't show up until like 18 minutes into the movie or so.
Yeah. The movie opens with like Loki, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it opens with like if you want to get really specific, like with the cube VFX.
Yeah.
And he's like, what can they do but bird? And then it goes to Samuel L. Jackson in the base.
Yeah.
And they get ambushed
There's
by
not even
Loki.
really any Avengers, right? Is it
Just Hawkeye.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nothing crazy.
And he doesn't even have his arrows with him. He's just shooting guns.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's a cool way to start it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Because it introduces each character in a different scene, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's not the stupid Suicide Squad
Yeah, montage
thing. No, they all get
It's
their
a
own
whole
thing.
scene. It's a
Yeah.
whole like scene with
Yeah, you get Hawkeye and Hawkeye, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, because everyone already knows who Nick Fury is
Mhm.
and Coulson, and then you get Black Widow, and then she goes and gets Hulk,
yeah
and I think that at that point Iron Man shows up,
yeah
or I think they get Captain America before then.
yeah.
I didn't know this, but they cut out a lot of Captain America scenes.
Not really.
Yeah. So like the scene where Nick Fury comes and talks to him,
Mm-hmm.
that was like after a bunch of introductions,
Gotcha.
and they redid it to where that's his only scene before he shows up again.
Oh wow.
So you know the like the waitress at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
You don't have time to put it all together. This pie that works really
What
well. You end up
is
getting
going
this
on?
zesty
Uh-oh.
cooked pie crust.
Party fell.
How did that even happen?
What?
Makes you want to
What?
It's your YouTube video.
Why is my YouTube video playing?
Ben cameoed his own.
What? That was actually really freaky. Anyway, before we cut this so I can save my video, yeah, the barista at the end, the
Yeah.
waitress, she has a weird amount of screen time.
I don't remember, to be honest. I haven't seen the movie in a while.
I don't know, she has like a couple minutes of screen time, or not minutes, but a couple moments. It's like, why does she keep showing this character? She was in the cut content from the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
The cafe that she works at, Captain America goes to in deleted scenes.
Okay.
And he's like sitting there having a coffee, and then the sun gets blocked out by the Stark building, which is why he says that big ugly building in New York.
Yeah.
That's a reference to that scene.
Okay.
So there's trails of it, but I think it's a good thing they cut it out because
Yeah. 2 hour, 5-minute movie or whatever. It's
something like
yeah.
that. And then instead,
run.
his introduction is him punching the bag.
Yeah.
With the flashbacks with war.
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like that's
Because that was the last movie before the Avengers, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it was Captain America. I was trying to remember which one, Thor, or that one came out first. But
yeah.
Yeah, so. And it was cool. I remember, like, the first Captain America, I haven't seen it in forever, but, like, dude, I remember, like, the ending being, like, kind of emotional when I was younger. Like, him, like, never being able to, like, see her
Mm-hmm.
again, like, that idea. And then he wakes up in modern day.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really know where, like, it was going. Like, oh, World War II. Like, how is this gonna, like, matter to, like,
Yeah. If you didn't
present
read
day?
the comics, you're kind of in the dark.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, cool. He gets frozen and everything, so.